High tea at the home of the O'Neills in Glasgow. The kind of spread which any mother would be pleased to lay before her family. Roast chicken, baked ham and potato fritters, plenty of vegetables. And to follow, tinned fruit, biscuits, cakes, as much as they can eat. Rex, the O'Neills' Alsatian, is well catered for too. But she didn't buy the food for this meal at the corner grocer's or the local supermarket. In fact, she didn't buy it at all. Every item on her shopping list, from the tins of soup to the tea bags, she got here.
Red on its own, 3. Green 4 in 9, 49. Blue 1 in 6, 16. Red on its own, 5. White 4 in 2, 42.
It's called Prize Bingo, a firm favourite with many housewives, where for 5p a card you can win anything from a toy train to a set of table mats. Here the game's the same, but the prizes are different. Most of the shelves in this bingo hall are stocked with foodstuffs. But when the prize, or the lure if you like, is something as basic as food for the family, everyday things like sausages and chops and bacon and tins of beans, then Prize Bingo takes on a decidedly different slant. And when a woman is being tempted to stake her week's housekeeping money on the slender chance of having a lucky run, well, then it does leave a rather unpleasant taste in the mouth.
3 and 8, 38. House on foot. My God, you got excited. Top card is a bonus, bonus and bonus. Check, please.
Every 90 seconds or so, someone calls house and wins a voucher for about 50p worth of groceries, which she can collect on the spot. Mrs. O'Neill hit a lucky streak and left the bonny bingo parlour with 5 carrier bags full of goodies. You've spent 15 shillings. Have you any idea at all how much you've saved on all this? I mean, you've got so much there, I couldn't begin to calculate it. Have you any idea?
Oh, right, that's a bit... £2 anyway, £2.10.
At least, yes. Well, can I ask you then what you're going to do with the food that you've bought in for the weekend, or have you not bought in any?
Well, I haven't bought any in yet.
So, in fact, you've only got about half an hour before the shop's shut. So you were, in fact, hoping to win food here, were you?
Oh, yes.
Can I ask you where you got the money to play bingo with? Was it from the housekeeping?
Now you're letting the cat eat a boat.
Was it?
Now you're letting the cat eat a boat.
It was.
Okay, eyes down in, we're starting to roll. And the first colour is a blue.
Not every woman can expect to be as lucky as Annie O'Neill. There are housewives whose numbers don't come up, and they can lose £6 or £7 a week, often hived off from the housekeeping money in the hope of landing a big bonanza. Well, not surprisingly, none of the unlucky ladies felt like facing our cameras. But despite the disappointments, more and more women see the grocery bingo parlours as a chance to gamble their money for jam.
White 4 and 3, 43.
In Glasgow alone, there are half a dozen halls, open till 10 at night, 7 days a week. The manager of one of them, Mr. Stanley Clarke. What gave you and your fellow directors the idea of offering food as bingo prizes?
Well, we thought that the housewife would be justified more if she's playing bingo to take food home, to say taking gifts home, tea sets, blankets, and it's something they can use every day. By taking food home and using it every day, they would come more and play bingo. That's my opinion.
What you're saying, in fact, is that you think that this would be more enticing for a woman?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Has it proved, in fact, to be so?
I should think so. We have no precedents because we've only opened this place in May.
But you think many more women have come in who wouldn't have come in otherwise?
Yes, I think so, personally.
And they have therefore been lured in a sense, by
Well, I
by
wouldn't say
food.
lured in. They are getting entertainment. They're getting very good entertainment.
What entertainment?
By sitting there, comfortable, warm surroundings, they can have their smoke, their children can run around, and they can play bingo, something they like to do.
The craze for grocery bingo has come in for sharp criticism, notably from Gamblers Anonymous.
I think it's vicious and pernicious. Gambling as a whole is a very difficult occupation to win at any time. Bingo is probably even more so because you have no control over the situation whatsoever. Food prices are rocketing. We don't have to go far to realise that. And in my particular opinion, I think that this has been very carefully looked at and brought in at a very strategic moment. And this is where I think the real viciousness comes into it. It's not so much the financial side of it that worries us. It's the emotional release they get from this, and the very fact that they may come out winning and they expect to win every time, and we know this is utterly impossible. And from this point of view, bringing in a section of people who normally don't gamble, stretching over a 12-hour period in the day where people are walking about the streets and can be lured in on a rainy day or a snowy day or just to escape for an hour or so, is particularly vicious.
What do you think of the morality of encouraging women to spend their housekeeping in the hope of winning the weekend joint?
Well, it's not a case of the morality. I don't really get it from the morality point of view. I really think that the person, if she didn't come here, she'd go perhaps to ordinary bingo, what we call cash bingo, and her chances there of winning are maybe 1 in 500, whereas here, as you said before, it can be 1 in 10, 1 in 15, 1 in 30.
There have been stories of people losing as much as £6 or £7 a week in a shop like this. Now, that's quite a lot of money out of the average pay packet. There also have been stories of people losing their savings because they become obsessed. Do you feel any sort of responsibility towards people like that?
Well, first of all, as you said the word stories, I believe it's just stories. I've never known a person here complain because she's lost too much. If a person, and I'm not running down betting shops, but if a person goes into a betting shop, they can put £50 on a horse and it's gone and that's it. Here, the most they can play is 5 pence or a shilling a time. When they've had enough, they stop. And I've never known a person spend more than £1 personally, and the person who spent £1 has always at least had something as a prize. The laws of average say that you must win if you play.
Mr. Clarke, I've spoken to a number of women who, after asking me not to reveal their names, have confessed to spending all their housekeeping money here. Now, would you approve of your wife spending her housekeeping money in this way?
Certainly not. I wouldn't like my wife to spend her housekeeping money, and you say you've spoken to these people, but I've never spoken to a person that said they've lost all their housekeeping money. I'd be very surprised, and I think she's a foolish woman. A foolish woman to do a thing like that.